Oh yeah, also, if you haven't already, make sure that you've leveled up.
What?
I panicked for a second.
Like, as in, like, from the fucking 3 weeks ago, not as in, like, you're not level 5, you're level 4. It's fine if you've already done it. But obviously, make sure, if you need to, that you've picked out your spells,
I'll make myself 6 now, then, if that's okay?
No.
I'm assuming I've done most of it.
I panicked for a
damn it,
second. I
Jamie.
realized that I fought some people. I'm fine.
We beat people up. Aaron got beaten up.
What's
Oh, yeah.
do there?
Rusty
Yeah,
did
for
well.
those of you who weren't here, like, 2 weeks ago, Dark, Celine, and Rose fought some people. Aaron ended up getting cooked and hit by a bunch of rocks and knocked out.
Okay, well,
Or that
we
they won.
we fought the real Princeton and beat him up particularly well. So there.
If it's any solace.
I'm going full Magus on him.
Let's go quickly by this, because I like these stairs. It's a quick aside before we begin. I don't know why it's so hard to have people make, like, good asset or good looking stair assets. Is it taboo or something? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
It's just because of the 3D effect tester would be required to have. That's kind of rough to make from a top-down angle.
Well, it's like the dude stuff I usually use. Like, his stone stairs look lovely, but all the wooden stairs that he has on offer look like ass, which is a pain.
Here I don't recognize.
Hmm?
There's some faces that I don't recognize here.
Oh yeah,
we're looking at this person down here. Like, this person's cute.
I'm fucking refreshing. I can see who you think's cute.
But I'm just presuming like halfling next to.
Was it the golf
Fire
girl?
bitch?
TM?
Yes.
I knew it.
Yeah, that one.
Rose be like has a type.
I didn't realize the lower map.
Oh.
Field.
Yes, this will be a lot of where the things for Ashes Festival go on is the little merchants alley where people are selling shit, and the theater for performances that'll take place there. Of course, you kind of have a few performances that can't be done inside, e.g., fucking Pegasus Flight, or at least it'd be very difficult to do.
And this, people, is why we need one of those ceilings that can open.
Unfortunately, they didn't kind of preempt that when they were building the theater. Otherwise, they probably would have.
Great place is clearly not up to Wizarding School code.
Clearly.
Good thing it's not a Wizarding School; it's an adventuring school.
It's just a school full fair amount of wizards.
I mean, I can confirm our party has 0% wizard.
I mean, Magi are kind of wizards.
No, they're not.
They're like combat wizard.
The muscle wizard.
The muscle wizard's something different. But okay, we'll do roll call. Big B.
Good start.
Big.
Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, just mumbled a bit.
No, it's fine. What makes me act up as well. Dark.
-1 performance.
Doran.
This
is roll call. Tinder.
Hello.
Rose.
Hello.
And Sideline.
What up?
Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while because fucking education sucks ass. Welcome back. Last time
Stay
we
in
left
school,
off.
skids.
Skids. I can't remember what the fuck happened last time we played. Did stuff.
We saved Dominique from his dream.
Oh yeah, dream shit. And you leveled up.
Yay, levels.
Also, if you haven't remembered to, keep in mind you get a hero point whenever you level.
Wow.
It's worth keeping in mind. But now we return with the main plan for this session being Ashes Festival. But before we get onto that, there's a few other things that need to be cleared up first. Namely, well, there's a few things. Tinder and Sideline, I don't know if you want to have a talk with voice now or if you want to leave it like for some other time and you can just probably after the performance.
I don't really mind. I mean, I know Torren's been waiting for this performance for quite some time, so if we want to do that first, I don't mind. I don't want to
get it out of the way.
I just don't want to get bogged down with other stuff and go, oh, performance can be next session again.
No. Yeah. And most of them take up maybe like half an hour to an hour of extra stuff, because the only thing that else that's going to happen is there's someone who wants to talk to Ren. Obo. Regardless. Jeez. So, Sideline, Tinder. I guess the main question is, where the fuck are you gonna go summon voice? Are you just gonna go and do it in the middle of like Vidorm, or are you gonna go?
I'm leaving that up to Erin. She's the local voice expert. Where would voice like to be summoned, oh teammate of mine?
I'm gonna say the balcony.
Sure, let me move this over to Vidorm then. Where the fuck did it go?
How can you lose a dorm?
It's because I don't have it named just Dorm.
Well, that's silly of you. Other dorms are disappearing.
I get to hide Wolves now that he's on vacation. Quotation marks.
Vacay.
It'll be
It's on
bad.
vac- He's been sent to a farm in Ohio.
Oh no. Oh,
Back. And he might die, but he might come back. Who knows?
It's Ohio.
I mean, fourth he'll just regenerate.
It's true.
well, he at least
What does that mean, Big V?
It's Ohio. That's what it means.
I mean, okay. Sure do be Ohio.
Hmm
Anyway,
That's the most you can say about Ohio.
Yeah, it is Ohio. Yeah.
there's one more thing you can say.
Just,
Ohio
no,
design and
seriously. Other than Cincinnati, there's nothing in Ohio.
Moving
Cleveland,
swiftly
I
on.
guess.
Cleveland?
Yeah, Cincinnati and Cleveland, and that's about it. And even then, I forgot Cleveland existed for a bit.
Well, Silas rants about the I don't know, Cleveland
Existence of
something class
Ohio.
from inside the dorm. Ipos and Aaron, you stand on the balcony.
All right. To get this right, there is a bit of a pose you need to do, Ipos.
Ipos does many pose.
No, the
He
specific
starts
ones here.
striking random poses.
Essentially, I'm going to be trying to make Pose look rather ridiculous standing out on the balcony and making him seem like this is a very serious situation that he has to be paying 100% attention to.
Good luck.
Okay.
I would just like to point out that Ipos' title is the Jester.
Yes. This is why I'm not feeling too bad about it. I'm just doing
But
SMH.
he can hop up on the balcony railing and sort of bounce along a little bit, and then it's like, no, be serious. Or
Stay still. Stay still. We're going to need you balance on one hand, and I'll help you get into that position. Ready?
okay, he sort of goes to do a cartwheel, trusting you to catch him.
Aaron gets.
Rest in peace, Aaron. Crushed by Kobold.
Yeah.
You can do your fucking weird Power Ranger routine or whatever the fuck.
I'm making Ipos look like a little bit of a joke.
He does not need help for that.
It's Aaron just pulling a prank on him.
After a little while, there's just a kind of quiet sound of clapping from the side as you manage to probably pull Ipos off from almost falling off of the railing again.
Mhm.
As... Good job.
What up, homie G?
Shiny man here.
Not much. How are you? I mean, beyond almost dropping Ipos off the edge and killing him.
It's fine. It's not
Yeah.
first time.
Not first time for Aaron almost killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Whew.
Yeah,
Ipos does not seem fazed by this statement.
I mean, I did turn him into the one and only Cobalt Kobold with the threat of death. So, not the threat of death, but the chance of death.
It was only a little bit of death.
You would have disintegrated.
Yeah, a little bit of death. Just quick snap death. Not a lot of death.
I suppose
that
it is
a
only
little
one
bit.
death.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, this is a follow up on the conversation of chosen.
Oh, what do you need to know?
Everything.
That
Oh, everything? As Voice pulls a book out from under his robes,
you have
comically oversized.
Ipos sort of sits down cross-legged, looking very much as if he's expecting story time. You know, like how kids sit in the library when they're being read to? Just like that.
I don't need to know everything about. No, not everything about chosen and just. Well, I don't know. I got the vibe that you were thinking about choosing one, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not the best option, so I was giving you another option to Nippos.
Yeah, everyone think
What?
I would be good, but I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I got the insinuation from our conversations that you were going to maybe, so you can help, so we could, well, punch someone.
Oh, no, I was only gonna do it 'cause it'd be funny.
Oh, I suppose that is also true. Well,
Come
Nippos would
on.
be funnier, I guess.
You
I
just
don't know.
wake up one day and then boom, godly powers.
I'm
But
pretty
no.
sure I'd burst into flames. I mean, I can't. I mean, I can cast magic, but it hurts spectacularly.
What is it you just said? A little death.
Little
Little death
death.
never hurt none.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I don't think I'm looking for a chosen. I don't even have a church. I don't know how these things work, Aaron.
That's fair. I mean, though, then again, historical references generally do lead to churches being founded on a chosen. I just figured to bring it up. I
Ippos
mean,
could have church.
I am doing as much. I am doing as much research as you are.
I guess I'm doing a lot of research.
As much as your research entails. Mostly, Are you into Titania thing? You rocking that boat?
Out of character. Voice just tilts his head. No? What? I don't
Never
think.
mind.
Can gods do that?
Yeah. Unless all that story writing I've ever read is all fan fiction, but
Oh.
I'm pretty
Nobody
sure
writes
they
books
can.
about these things. Or rather, we do write books about these things, but they tend to be best-selling novels, and those aren't really what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's fair.
No.
Oh,
Though,
okay.
I've noticed one of your little friends is putting on something soon.
Oh, yeah. And that was actually the second part of our conversation.
Ooh,
I
ooh,
do hope you
ooh.
enjoy that. He's putting in a lot of effort to that and also ripping people in from other planes of existence to say hi. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way that's not going to go badly. He smells.
No.
It's widely.
Yeah, that's why I'm there for planar boundary analysis, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Look, I wanted to give you something for that, though.
Eh?
He pulls out a little paper craft rose and hands it to you. Give that to your
Aaron,
friend.
sure, I will. Yeah, I'll do that.
My job here is done, then. Anything
Well,
else?
yeah, well, I mean, I mean, you don't have really a following, so you don't really have any holy items, and you don't really have any of those. So I was wondering if I could actually ask you a question, and if I could like take an observation on how you do your classic miracle of making props seem more real.
Oh, yeah, I can show you that. He just
Yeah,
kind of
because
starts pulling things out from his pockets. But just continues listening to you. Mm-hmm. Go on.
well, for example, I I actually want to do a quick test. Erin says that she pulls out a few objects from her thing, and it's like 3 sticks that have little drawings of flames on the end of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just start juggling these, Erin does, and
Classically continues to pull things out.
I suddenly think that they're on fire, can you just go poof? And do you require the people to believe that they're on fire before you do it, or no?
That's a chunky ink. That's not quite the way that works. When you make a prop has a specific purpose. For instance,
Right, this prop is supposed to be making it impressive that I am juggling and not catching the red flamey end.
he pulls out pair of binoculars. Mm-hmm. Well, magic always makes things a bit weird. But the way I, hmm, hmm, I just sort of do it, which is a big issue in actually telling you how. Belief is a part of it, yes, but the prop has to be fitting. You can't just make up anything.
You're right. So there is a element of audience inclusion in the process.
Yes, someone has to want to believe that it's actually something that could make sense. Unless the thing is just so nonsensical that it could fit in anyway.
Oh. Can Erin try to think as hard as she can on the processes and what fire is, and like try to basically use her imagination to get the get basically a very good image of fire at the end of these juggling sticks? Because she's
You can certainly
really
give me a.
intelligent,
You can
but
certainly give
usually,
me a. I think this would be a charisma check.
yeah. Where'd she get the sarcophagus?
Mm.
Oh, fair.
Aaron, as you focus on these symbols of flame, these are just like regular sticks with like an image painted on them, right?
Yeah, Aaron drew a little bit of fire on the end of them.
It's weird. You obviously are aware of that limitation within you. Although you have that tiny spark of magic, whatever it is that's up with your body makes it painful to use it and such. Drawing on that, it's a bit like after a run when you feel tired. You can feel the movement of energy within you, and it certainly flows somewhere, but nothing appears to happen, unfortunately. At least for a second. Until you see like a little spot of like smoke rise from the end of one of the twigs, and voice just claps. Oh, almost. But you're thinking,
I know I'm very literal.
hmm, you might need a. I don't want to say a handicap, but I want a medium.
Actually, I was working on that thing. Actually, I know I'm very literal, but I can also use that literality to, simulate other effects. Erin says as she pulls out awareness, the new device that she's invented.
Oh, what's this?
It allows me to actually pick up and read, and then also image the what the fuck? The bigger than you. Never mind. Um, pull out the basically allow everybody else, including me, to see psychic imprints on things. Erin says as she activates it, and suddenly little dust spreads out everywhere and highlights all the major psychic imprints.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Voice just watches as the area kind of lights up. It's very you.
Yeah, the thing is, the next step for it is for me to be able to put my own psychic imprints out on the field by highlighting my own thoughts and then having this stick to them.
I mean, you said you're very literal. Why not lean into that? Making something on the whim is hard. Making something that you know is easier.
Yeah, I was just wondering if I could get any inspiration from watching you do the same, because it's a very similar theory. Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sorry, Evos, but I kind of got on a tangent. I didn't realize that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You often do talky talk stuff.
It'd also be a lot better at learning what my brand of thing is. I think you need to be more you, less of a copycat. Take inspiration, not yeah, like you
Ipos,
said.
Ipos not copycat. Ipos very
No,
unique.
And yeah,
but you could copy me, is what I mean.
Ipos moves up, stands right in front of Voice, and just starts copying him, like a mirror, moving how Voice does.
Crab walks.
Crab walks.
yeah, he's yeah. I should actually make you something. Never mind. Um, yeah. I was just hoping I could get some inspiration about how you did it. Readings and maybe
Ooh, take one of these. Maybe you'd learn better by seeing what it is I make. Your
I'm
choice.
taking the statue.
Which one?
Yes,
You want the giant baby?
I would like the giant baby.
Aaron, congratulations. You have retrieved one gigantic statue of a baby. As he clicks a finger, and the other items start to disappear.
All right. Yeah, I can work with this. This is going to be similar to the objects you left all over the place that turned into mimics, aren't it? Isn't it?
Kinda. That was a mistake. I have to be clear. I didn't want them to be mimics. But when I leave things, they get other impressions. And in a place like this, where everything's sort of jumbly wumbly magicy and stuff, they can become things that aren't quite them.
Note to self: giant baby may turn into a demon of Lamashtu. Noted.
I would hope not. I'll keep an eye on it.
You don't have to.
You sure?
I'll-
I don't want it to turn into a giant baby Overmash too.
I have a giant murder death robot in the basement. It'll be fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, I need to go now.
Yeah, you do that.
I'll see you at the festival.
Yep.
I see you walks through the wall.
How the fuck am I gonna move a statue?
Ask Rusty.
You know, no, he doesn't have arms, and I was
He
kind of
could pull.
anticipating using. I was gonna use Wolf to lift it and move it downstairs, but he's gone.
I will leave you to your conundrum. As the last thing before we move on to the festival is Ren. Dark, are you here?
I'm here, yes.
Dark, Ren is probably like a day or two after the whole entire dream escapade, but you get a small letter shoved underneath the door to your room.
I like to imagine that Ren's literally just lying on the bed when the letter gets slid under.
Yeah, it's not far off. Basically, a time where you'd be there to see it actually happen.
That's the point when Ren wished he knew Mage Hand.
Continues being lazy, lifts letter. There's not much to it. It's just a simple folded piece of paper with a small message written on it. It just says, "Meet me in the chapel. Professor Zell."
What have I done now? Ren's going to quickly get up, get everything dressed, get everything ready, and kind of quickly make his way out to the chapel.
Okay, give me a second to actually have a map first. As soon as I remember I put Professor Zell's token. I'll go grab it. I don't know how frequent of a visitor Ren is to the chapel, but it looks much the same as probably if he ever took the tour of the place. There's the various pedestals holding what would be statues and memorabilia of many of the more popular gods.
To be honest, Ren
Token for him.
come here too often. Though then again, his form of worship tends to be less gods and idols.
Yeah. Oh yes, you're more into the spirits.
He just tends to end up leaving out offerings in his balcony, that kind of stuff.
Man, he's the one fucking professor I don't have a fucking token made ready for. Right, just a second.
Professor Zell is such an enigma that he doesn't even have a token.
Gasp. Back to the chapelle. When you enter, you see him in the sitting on one of the what the fuck are they called?
Pews.
Yeah, that's it. One of the
He's
pews.
huge.
He's not supposed to be huge. It's just I don't know why Roll20 makes it, but whenever you drop a fucking token on the map, it starts off thick. Anyway,
The token is aligned to the size of the actual image. Because remember, each square on Roll20 is only 70 by 70.
it does it for everything. But anyway, he, as he's sitting there, even without seeing you walk in, he just waves to you.
I mean, it's not a surprise, Ren. He's the damn psychic teacher. He expects you to know he's there.
You can do this too once you're big brain enough. Ren, I'm glad to see you came.
I mean, I wasn't just going to ignore you.
Well, thank you anyway. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your new companion.
Yes. Thank you, Professor.
I'll give you the warning that I give everyone who manages to pick up an infomorph before we cover them completely. Be careful how you manage it. Whilst I'm sure you understand how something with a mind of its own may act, as he nods to Astra, infomorphs are much more alien.
You've described that quite well in our lectures.
Thank you.
I think I've got a handle on it, though.
If you require any advice, you know where to find me.
Of course, sir.
But beyond that, I have one more thing I must say to you.
Okay.
I carry a message from the headmistress herself.
Brenda's looking more and more pale, like, what's going on? What's going wrong?
Insert fucking theme from The Godfather. As you might be aware, there is a festival coming up, run by one of the same people who you helped within the dream. One Ash. Quick.
Oh, the fiery. Right, yeah.
Yes. She has a request. If you are attending the event, she asks that you stick near the halfling, Erin, or Ash herself.
Okay. I mean, I can do that. Sure. Brenda looks a little bit perplexed.
You've seen that there are things going on around this campus. Things strange and beyond us. I believe she fears that something might transpire that night, and that those two will be targets.
I suppose that makes sense. I'll make sure to keep my defenses ready then.
I believe, should things go badly, you'll be hearing from her herself. The headmistress, that is. If that happens, please be ready.
Understood.
He stands up. Otherwise, enjoy your day, Ren.
Same to you, Professor.
As he disappears.
Yeah. You can never use the door, can he?
If you get into 6th level psychic force, you're gonna fucking teleport everywhere.
As Ren just kind of looks to Astra, which just ends up making a chiming noise, and the pair walk off, slightly confused.
A few rare people who are wandering around the chapel at this time just kind of watch the fucking professor teleport away, and you walk away and you're like, oh, okay. Awkward. Tradition dictates that it's very rude to teleport away from someone after a conversation.
Tradition dictates that it's rude to teleport in general.
And it depends where you're teleporting.
I mean, now what I'm just hearing is I clearly make a conjurer character who just teleports everywhere.
Depends how lazy you want to be,
They,
honestly.
they suddenly just appear in the bathtub, just appear at the dining table, just wherever.
Just displace water. Phew.
I reckon that when you teleport into a body of water, that water gets the water has to go somewhere. So either you're just forcing like a big kind of sploosh on the surface, or the water is going to where you just came from. Either way, there's a sploosh somewhere.
Or suddenly you become exorbitantly hydrated.
Moist.
That's not how atoms work.
But regardless. I'm just going to quickly put ambiance music for people who want it. But we get to move on to the main thing for tonight, which is Ash's performance. Before we begin, Torin, these cards are the cards that you're fine with, yes?
Yeah, I have not decided to change anything.
Okay. Keep in
Unless
mind,
you want to suddenly reveal more interactions between cards that you didn't tell me about in advance.
no, I think you've gotten, there aren't that many interactions between cards that are special. It's mainly Epos and the Fairy Dragons that have a link to each other. The other things are mostly soul or self-isolated special events that are added. Okay. Just keep in mind that some of these cards have special abilities that some of them you can provoke at any time, some of them apply only on their thing. Oh, actually, last question. What time of around, like, when would Ash be doing this? Like in the evening, afternoon? Torin?
Right, push a talk.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna say like early evening because then people coming in from the town still have enough time to like get home and take care of themselves.
Okay. Also, probably a good idea considering the Pegasus will be giving people raids, and they probably want to be able to see while that happens.
Yeah, no, I mean like I imagine this like pre-show festival thing is going to be more like early through late afternoon kind of deal.
If it works too. Either way, you've
And
got
then
your
the show itself in
performances.
the early evening. Yeah.
Yeah. At least your performances kind of work well in that regards, from it being like late afternoon to evening-ish, and that you have a bunch of things like Epos who will be acting during the evening. Fireworks. As for the rest of you, feel free to drop yourself on either of these two maps. I should note for you, Rose, I
There's
imagine
two
Roland would
maps?
ask you.
Oh, I didn't
okay.
even see the bottom one. I saw the right one.
Yeah, there's the one to the right, and then there's the... Yeah. As essentially what happens is, on the day of the festival, things first of all get ready, with various people preparing for performances, setting things up, as with the catering and the chapel attendance and blah blah blah. The main thing is, Torm, would Ash like to give a speech to start off the event?
Yes, but I myself am bad at public speaking.
In that case, do you ever want a couple of minutes to think of something, or do we just want to hand wave it?
Fuck it, I'll pull something out of my ass.
This always goes well.
Yeah.
Staff will come up behind you, just kind of, because he's gonna Basically, will happen is after you give the speech, you will enact the ritual, which will make funky shit happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this charity event I have put together to help efforts to relieve people from having to rebuild their homes and lives alone after the many tragedies brought upon us by the undead roaming the countryside. We, as people from Silveridge Academy, should strive to do more than just simply destroy the monsters, but as well help the people who have been affected by them. And that is why we are here today and why I have put this show together. All profits made from this show, from your tickets as well as the fare you've purchased for yourselves, will be going to the nearby town to help people rebuild their homes and repair the damaged farmlands. So, if everyone is comfortable, please, without any further ado, I would like to introduce a good friend of mine. What is her fucking last name? I can never remember.
Marie?
Marie Dean, as well as the Pegasus from the nearby town, with a performance for you all to open up tonight's wonderful lineup. Everybody, please put your hands together for Marie. Ash will start making their way over here.
Well, first of all, staff will walk up, give a bow, and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, what you may see tonight will amaze you and may mystify you. I should warn you, everything that is going on is safe, and I implore you to enjoy your night." As he is going to enact a ritual that will weaken the barrier between the Elysium and the material plane. Behind him, an array appears in the air, numerous symbols glowing in different directions, different symbols, the arrow within the middle spinning rapidly until finally it points upwards. Give me a second, I had to fucking do a lot of revealing off of the GM layer. As around you, the air almost seems to take on this weird golden hue. In the distance, you can hear almost the faint giggling of, we're not sure who, and the faint playing of music. As around you, you see almost faint, ephemeral images of fairies. Those of you more skilled in planes would recognize these as the Lyrican. As well as around you, you see ghostly images of people, the ones who have passed on from the material plane and now reside in the upper planes. As the performance is, without ado, begun. First of all, we'll get on to what people will be doing during this entire thing, but Torin, can you roll me a d20, please? Oh, a d20 and the performance roll for the intro, which is a plus 17.
Is it just a plus 17? Should be.
It's 14 from the Pegasus flight, plus 3 from Marie and Belfatrix. If you're spending any money towards catering, that will of course give a plus 2 bonus to every other card. I don't know if you've spent any
Yeah,
money
I
on that
did.
yet. How much?
Yeah, I did spend the 80 gold.
Okay, in which case, that's
Unless I
19.
can do it more than once.
You can do it more than once. It's up to you how much.
Oh, then hell yeah, we're going to do that thrice.
Okay. So that's a plus 23. I believe the Cloudhawks had the same bonus.
Oh.
Say what you will, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, holy shit.
And now we
no.
find Torrens like actual. We found where he does well.
Stupid bullshit. Same as always. But yeah, no, crap. Now someone has to follow this natural 20 act. I feel bad for them.
An intro is never. I mean, okay, that is true. But an intro is never a bad thing to open up with a very good performance. As I quickly do shit. Rightio. As the opening performance is less of a performance inside, but essentially what happens is the Pegasus from that visited Westlake a couple of weeks ago is giving people rides. Every so often you'll hear the screams of someone as the Pegasus swoops down, its wings seemingly repaired somehow from when you last seen it, as they get to look across the valley that surrounds the school. It appears to be a hit, unshockingly. I just need to note that down. And you rolled a 6 on the events. You've rolled technical difficulties. Thankfully, this doesn't matter much because you rolled a nat 20. Basically, what ends up happening is there's a bit of a logistics issue in that, oh no, a lot of people want to ride the Pegasus. Unfortunately, the Pegasus is not, endless in stamina and does have to take rests at some point, which ends up being a little bit of
Quick,
a
set up a
disappointment.
raffle.
I mean, that could potentially be a solution, but I don't imagine you want to use any of your negate cards on this, because all it is a -2 to the end roll.
Yeah, no, screw that. I'll take the 41.
Yeah, I'll note that down. That's a 41. Either way, still incredibly good. Where's my music paused? Anyway, while the first event is going on, any of you are free to talk to anyone that you see, basically. Or if you want to visit, there are some stalls out in the Merchants Square.
Although, I will say for the actual performance, I was more imagining more like Marie and Bellatrix probably like flying on the Pegasus and doing something.
Oh, I was imagining more like logistics, but they could also be performing at the same time. What layer did I have?
Well, they have to add the +3 to the performance somehow.
Yeah.
By
Generally
keeping
very
tabs and making it an orderly experience.
What? No. This is a distinctly this is not that kind of event where it's all just numbers. Screw
I know.
that. No one likes numbers. Numbers are boring.
I love
Karen.
numbers.
I know one of my traits is literally called mathematical prodigy.
You're not helping, right?
Some of us are math geeks.
Nerds. I say with Nate with was it 16 intelligence?
Hehe. Oh, I should also note, around this time, there are going to be visitors from Elysium. The effects of a ritual basically mean it's sort of like Elysium has been layered on here. You can't physically interact with the creatures, but you can talk to them, have conversations and whatnot. I need to go get the tokens for the special guests who are appearing.
I'm going to buy ice cream.
You buying the Ever ice cream? Or True
buying-
ice cream?
I'm buying the true ice cream.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna eat a burger. Mm.
I should note, technically, they don't spoil, or rather, they do spoil, but very slowly. So if you buy them now, you don't or rather, you can buy them and keep food for later. I
No,
believe
I'm
I believe
buying food.
Bigby is still carrying a curry.
Yes. In fact, I'm carrying it in a fancy thing. It's protective, so
I'm food for now.
I forgot what that does, though.
Fucking Silas just has a fucking bento box of curry. I give you a bonus to charisma rolls.
Right. But you know what? I'm going to use that now anyway.
Sure, as you eat the wonderfully wonderfully made curry. The magical elements in it, obviously being related to fire and such, is quite spicy, but thankfully doesn't leave much of an aftertaste. Or after bite, I should say.
Alana's that asshole who walks up to the thing and looks at the burger and goes, "Is there a vegan option for this?" Because I want
Technically,
linguistics.
the diabolic slider is vegan. I don't
Ah,
believe you
perfect.
found them before, but there are mushrooms down in the deep dank caves which have very delectable meat. That's what these are made out of. From a mushroom known as Hell's Crown.
Alana's going to go find these and just take all of them. They're hers now.
But I was eating burgers.
Rose.
I want
Yeah.
linguistics.
No,
Yeah.
it's my burger.
I'm about to say it lines up really well with you, Rose, because you have linguistics.
That's why I want it.
Fortunately,
Ooh,
Ladies, please. There is enough for both of you. I didn't spend 240 gold for fucking nothing.
Brighton has known that you've been doing this and has been preparing for making this food for a while. He's technically selling at a loss, but this is more of a thing so that people know that he exists now. As the benefits for Wondrous
It
Fare,
was approved by the committee.
the benefits for Wondrous Fare is essentially he can make meals that have like a bunch of charges. They only give small benefits, but they last for a while.
Is that
Okay.
crab gumbo?
That is indeed crab.
Hmm.
I see some of them in small bowls.
No, I'll
That's
have an order.
crabs.
I think that 2 orders of crab gumbo. I'll save one for later.
Okay. Just, if you spend the money, you can get it. Right, what was this person's name? Ash, you have your first strange visitor, I should say. I'll tell you if you're not 20, you'll definitely be getting some more, but they'll probably talk to you after the performance because they have important shit to say.
Cool. Time to start the interviews nice and early in this performance. Excellent.
Yeah. While Marie is, performing and helping guide the Pegasus, this small lizard man walks up to you. I'm going to try my best at doing a lizard accent, don't make fun of me.
No promises.
Too late.
Greetings. You are. He tilts his head.
I am Ash O'Quick.
Ah, nice to meet you, Ash. I am Ken. I was attracted to your fair. It is interesting what you've managed to do here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
More to that, there's a strange. He kind of squints at you. You have a strange feeling.
I'm a strange person. Ash shrugs.
One finger to his mouth, he tilts his head at you. Tell me, do you ally with something beyond?
Of course.
Oh, ho, ho. He kind of reaches into his robes and pulls out a little notebook, writing something in it very quickly before stashing it away again. I see, I see.
As Ash pulls out their own notebook. Now, you ask questions, and I have a few of my own.
Oh, please ask me anything.
And just running through a few basic questions about, like, where they're from, the things that are there, what they do, those kinds of things. Because, again, this is an interview, and I'm not going to play out every single question every single time. That's going to get tedious.
Yeah, but I will give you the overview of who they are. Ken, for those of you who aren't aware, reptiles, which yes, we're called reptiles, very unimaginative, are denizens of Elysium. Notably, they're scholars, more particularly interested in divine and celestial relics. In particular, Ken is a trader of such, having a few minor deific items that he'd be willing to trade should you have something similar. Which I'll post the things that he has in the out of character chat. But he'll be hanging around. He is also actually one of the things he does want to, or does seem particularly interested in, is every so often he'll try and get close to Rel, seeming to ask him some questions.
I do have one particular question for Ken, though.
Oi.
You trade in objects tied to the Celestials and the upper planes, correct?
Yes, the gods are strange creatures in the end.
I'm less
Linked.
interested in the gods, more of a specific Celestial.
Oh, who might that be?
One who visited this plane some, I don't know how many hundreds of years ago, but from where my family draws their celestial blood and where we obtained our name, Oakwick. A Perry angel came down, torched an oak tree in a grand display, and the story gets hazy from there. But I am curious if you have anything from that event.
Hmm.
Even a piece of that tree would be fascinating to have my hands on.
He shuffles through his robes, checking a few pockets and compartments as if trying to think, has he came across such a thing? Before, unfortunately, he shakes his head. No, unfortunately, that's not something I've heard of. But I could ask around. Many of my colleagues are much more interested in the material plane than I.
Well, if you can get your hands on something, please do let me know.
Of course, I would ask for you a trade, if you can find something that would interest me as well.
I have more than a few curiosities I could part with.
Keep me, keep Ken in mind.
Now, please, go enjoy yourself.
I shall. I'm looking forward to the food. Oh, one last question though. Do you know the name of the angel?
Mm, not as such. We we lost things over time, having to move around and such. People not being terribly understanding. So, with the frequent movements around and such, some knowledge was unfortunately lost, such as our ancestor's name.
I see. No
And
matter.
besides that, it's not as if we would know their true name, only what their alias in the mortal world would be.
Of course. I shall see what I can find. As he'll hobble away. Yes, Ken specifically mostly trades deific items for deific items if you have anything relevant and are interested in his wares.